Benzodrine and ghouls. Are ghoulies is ghoulies the plural of ghouls? No. You can't get this anywhere else on the internet, I assure you. I'll give you the question and the answer to something not even myself, a little bit of light. There you go. Not even I wanted to know, because I already knew. What an absolute pleasure. We got some crackers for it. I've actually got a couple of clips to show you. I've got a couple of things to tell you. Happiness. Oi, John. Oi, not John. Look, all over the shop. Alan. Look at Alan. Look at the Alan on that. We named the new mouse. In many ways, you own it. Mind your eyes. No, you're going to forget everything. Not a bad thing. Everything I've told you anyway. I wonder what happens. Is anyone dying? But nice one, Al. Look. I got it. Thank you, Alan. It was the kick up the bum as well as the 10-bit, to be honest with you. It was a 10-bit. I don't want to say a 10-bit and the bum. That's going all over the shop. 1 second. Let me just... work. I'm not quite sure which bit of I'm not working anymore. They never understand. Let's get some quick hellos before the oi polloi turn up. 42's on the phone. My man Rags is there. Custard's in. Moody Edge. Emma G. They're having a little chat for a long time. Ralph is on the farm. You on the farm, Ralphie? I hope not. Charlie Sparkles, for you. Lovely JP. JP. Thank you. Rags, busy boy. I've done my shouldering. Pags. Yep, done my shouldering. Hello, Picard. You all right, my son? I've already said 42. I'm sure I have, but, he's worth a double. Vincent's in. Where is this? Where is he? Always doing something he shouldn't be. Story of my life. Had a conversation. There's a bit in my novel I was trying to get right last night. There's a bit... Right, okay. Hello, Andrew. Good to see you, son. Let me just... this is for the hardcore, because you're the early lot. The later lot won't understand this. But the novel opens up with a pastiche. Actually, I've got it to show you, because it's excellent. Possibly the best opening to any movie ever. Because it's my favourite movie, I'm bound to say that. I can't play it all because I'll get done by Susan. Well, risk it, though. I mean, it's terrible to risk it at the beginning of a stream. Hello, Toffee. Good to see thee. Why did I get a Vart then? Oh, I mean, what the hell is happening with entropy? I just got a Denasciati and I didn't even get a Vitana Harto. That can't be right. I'm guessing it's my man Anglo. Let me sort you out, Emmanuel, my son. Sana. All right, Sana. There you go. They are working then. Apologies. It is my boy Anglo as well. Thank you, Anglo. Much appreciated. The early Varts. Well, it makes me feel like I'm valued at the opening, and then I can just cruise it. Nice one, Anglo. Very good. Fucking hell, I got varted out of this place. Andy Mack. Nice one, Andy. Be well, Scrubs. Armageddon is nigh. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't mean to... It's not name-dropping saying Will Self anymore, because I've said it so many times. It's just someone I know. But I was talking to him the other week, and he said, thank you, Andy, by the way, regular donator as well. Very, very appreciative. He said he thinks we're approaching end times, right? And he means it. He says, I think this is end times kind of stuff that's happening. Now, he's got, I think you can find this out on the internet, he's got like 4 kids. So it's not like he's got no skin in the game and say something like that. He's got spawn. My editor my editor, who's got a very serious operation coming up, which is awful because obviously I'm prioritizing him getting my novel done over his operation. he's off his head doing loads of mushrooms and saying that he made a very interesting point, actually. Well, since you asked, John, yeah, he's great. If you like him, he's great. But having said that, he's done a lot of very different stuff. So I think the last 3 books he's written that come as a 3, what is it? Phone, Shark, and Umbrella. Well, it's actually Umbrella, Shark, and Phone. I think they're masterpieces in English literature. I think will be long dead before that's realized, but I honestly mean that. They're just ahead of their time, like these things tend to be. Not great for writers, but this is what my editor said, and don't forget that Will put me on to my editor. My editor's, there's a bit in my novel where I talk about the whole Cold War and growing up in the 80s, because there's a lot of stuff about my childhood in there, obviously, being autobiographical. And he said that it really got him thinking about it. And that was like 2 years ago when I was nearly finished the book. But if you think I've been working on it for 6 years, 2 years ago is nearly finished. You know, it's 2/3 done. And he really got him thinking about it. And he said to me the other day, he said, what they've done is suggested that the atomic age, the nuclear age, essentially weapons capable of destroying the planet, which we have got in those amounts, it's been kind of put on the back burner. It's been kind of put on the back burner. Crazy. Thank you, darling. It's been put on the back burner, and it's kind of like, you know, it's what's the word he used? Not retrospective. Retro. It's culturally retro to talk about nuclear war. And it kind of is. It's kind of retro to talk about the atomic age. And yet we're still right there. Of course, that doesn't end. You don't create weapons that work by exploding atoms that are so ridiculously devastating, and the aftermath of radiation. You know, civilization doesn't get to that point in its development and just go, oh, that was lucky, and then carry on. That's there now. That's always there now. It's quite an interesting point. I'm seeing people in the chat. A couple of people said, I certainly think we're coming to the end of civilizations, if not the end times. I mean, I would suggest we're already there in a cultural sense. You know, when we've got the police turning up on people's doors for non-criminal hate crimes, for upsetting paedophiles, that's not post-truth. That's post-sanity. It doesn't stand up to even the most superficial fingernail scratching analysis. And yet it doesn't have to, because it's not about morality. It's not about ethics. And, you know, I know it's a cliche to go this way, but when Nietzsche said we killed God, and it's a fucking arrogant thing to do, to kill God. You know, it's an arrogant thing to do. It's arrogant. Not because God is alive or dead, but just the project of it, just thinking. You know, when we talk about conservatism, yeah. When we talk about the right wing, what separates the right from the left, essentially, this is up for debate. You know, this is just my channel's an opinion piece, but the left is a liberal project. It's a progressive project. And much like communism doesn't reach a state of completion, by the way. there's a transition period from, according to Marx, there's a transition period from late capital where the seeds of its own destruction are part of capitalism, and then there's a transition period into communism, right? But that doesn't end there, because what you'll get there is a quasi-capitalist communist situation. China, ring any bells? Somewhere a bit closer to home, ring any bells? I've got to be a little bit careful. And so the liberal project is to be continually revolutionary. You know, you've got this, you've done this. Okay, well then let's break that down and progress. It doesn't have a goal. It doesn't have aims and objectives. And if you don't have aims and objectives, your strategies and your tactics are kind of scattergun. Let's just break things down. Let's just get rid of what we've got. Whereas the right have understood things like the communal consciousness of wisdom. Look what we've done. Look where we've been. Look what we've learned. Look what's worked. Look what has. Look at the things that have held civilizations together. Look at things that have created worthwhile things. Look at things that have made the struggle for life and the struggle for resources better. Look at the things that have reduced pain in life. You know, look at the things that have given us love and value, like families, extended families, communities, pride, community pride, tribal pride, national pride. Let's look at those things and maybe, shock horror, conserve them, because we've seen them work. And at the moment, going back to why I started that little rant, at the moment, culturally, it's already lost in the liberal continual revolution, perpetual revolution, where culture is, you know, because it has to be inclusive, it's virtually useless. I mean, you know, that's what culture's for. Culture is to exclude people and to include yourself and your people. So once it's inclusive, it's decoration anyway. And we have, you know, I don't mean to just pull on this, but we have drag queens reading kids' stories in taxpayer-funded libraries and schools. It's gone. It's over. That side of things is this. This is why I get so annoyed when people talk about football and things and like, oh, you know, it's all just a distraction from what's really going on. No, that is what's really going on. It's not a distraction from it. It is it. And if you give up those things, if you just, it's all, you know, so what is it? Circus or whatever. Well, okay, but these are our things. These are our things that mean something to us. Anyway, going on to we talked briefly the other night. We talked briefly the other night about that. Looks like my boy RP. Is he on the phone? Hello, Years. Hello, my boy Cray. JP again. Dr. Climate Abortion. Hello, VDVN. Why? Oh, come on. I'll tell you what. Why do you think I don't have a shirt on? As a fair question. Why? Have a guess. Have a serious guess. Just have a guess. Try that out. Hello, Bill. Good to see you, mate. The truth will set you free is in the firm. Right, let's get down to it. Look at that, look. Old homosexual's getting a little bit aroused. Can't handle it. You know what's wonderful about the glorious House of Scrubs is noob doesn't realise how much of a glaring noob he is. He hasn't got a clue. And so we get them occasionally, don't we? Some of them are like, oh, this is fun, this is interesting. But this is just someone walking around the internet because they got no friends being angry. Shut the fuck up and put a shirt on. Why has my shirt upset you so? RP! When the Bolsheviks arrived at the Duma in 1917 from exile, they were all rich businessmen from given support money, which angered the People's Committee. Yeah, JP Morgan funded the Russian Revolution. And they wanted to destabilize the Soviets. It's an incredible turnout, isn't it, RP? You know, what did they expect? Yeah, you want a communist revolution? Here's some money. Crack on. Not so funny now it's happening the other way round, though, is it? Hello, Josh. Good to see you. Woodlander's on the firm too. Yiz. Snoopy. Bontoft. John. Right. Hello, Sir Grego. How are you, son? Hairless. 42's dropped to 5-bit. This is going to be important. Conservatives opposing Drag Queen Story Hour is akin to trying to end world hunger with a packet of hobnobs. There you go. It's a minor thing, isn't it? But I think in this age, you've got to take the wins, and you've got to elevate them. You've got to elevate them because it's a start. You know, I'm kind of with you. It's just, you know, it's a bit like, well, like you said, what's Irving Welsh saying? Trainspotting. It's like trying to cure the third world famine with a bag of frozen peas. Hello, Mark. Good to see thee. Hello, October. Niggling Bill says, I bet that guy isn't wearing pants or underwear. Just sitting there. Hello, mashed potato. You new on the firm? Nice to see you. Ah, the Bolsheviks. Yeah. They kind of stole that revolution, by the way. There's a kind of interesting little double bluff going on because there was a bit of a people's revolution that weirdly the communists piggybacked. It's been a while since I read that, so I'm not going to pretend I know too much about it, but I have faith in that as being a thing, but I can't defend it now. Hello, St. George's Sue. This is what I heard. I spoke to my mate yesterday. He lives down in Devon. He had like a fedora on, a pair of wraparound sunglasses. He looked like he was stand-in bass player for the Velvet Underground. Loomy's on the fur. I tell you what, Loomy, you were driving me mad yesterday. I was listening to you on Rags and Jacks. I was thinking, sell your fucking book, man, for fuck's sake. You can't just mumble. You can't mumble book sales. I nearly wrote to you. I thought, well, it's not up to me to keep telling him. Jackson Rags had handed it to you on a plate. Here, Loomy, talk about your book. And you were like, you're such a weird bloke. I love you. You know I love you. But it was shocking. Jax. So Loomy, about the map. When I was young, I used to see maps in books. And when he said that, I thought, yeah, I remember that. Like Treasure Island, there'd be a map. And fucking hell, gives it a set of topography, no less. And you're like, here we go. And you went, I didn't draw that map. Where do I pay? I mean, where do I pay? Hello, Poke the Bear. Fucking hell. And then because all you were offering was after about 20 minutes, as soon as I heard Jax go, So, Lumi, tell us about your red pill journey. I thought he's fucked it. He's fucked it, hasn't he? Good gosh. Good gosh. Now, we were talking the other day. I got 42s in, I got Raymond's in, I got Chris's got Andy's. Right, we're all good, we're all up to date, lovely. I'll tell you what though. Hello, Flammer, good to see you, son. Back when maps were wholesome, exactly, right under JP. Hello, John, hope you're all right, son. Toffee says maps are racist. Only the ones that are correct and only the high IQ ones that allow you to sail ships you designed and built around the world. He's always drunk. That's what I thought. Did you see it? That's exactly what I thought. Bless his cotton socks. Hello, Picard. Chris, there you go. Why is there a table on the ceiling? Do you ever clean that mirror? Where do you live? What's a substack? Let's just get them all out of the way in one hit. The house hasn't been cleaned for a while now because I let it get so dirty. I'm embarrassed to get the cleaner in. It's Dangerfield's paradox. It's a sin in here. And because I've split up with my missus temporarily, as always, because I'm a lightweight when it comes to love, I didn't care about it's. I mean, today I've done all the washing up. You can see it fresh. If I just show you the draining board arc of clean. And so that was a step forward because over here, you leave dirty plates in the sink. 3 days, you're looking at things start growing in there that move. Maggots is the word I'm trying not to say. Maggots. Nice one, Picard. Kaprasha Kanatu, as ever. Look, he left. He got too sensual. He thought he's done me up. To me! Apart from the format and the content, there you go. You can't beat the good uns. Right. Now, I want to. She's not my ex anymore, Grego. She is her sister, but that's what makes it even worse. If she was some rando, it would be like, come round and, you might need a shovel to get some of that slop off the floor. But it's family, essentially. So, I've got to be careful. It's just embarrassing. Ultra maggots. Yeah, she does. She absolutely does, yeah. But, you're all right, Woodlander. Go and get them done, son. Now, listen. Let's have a look at this at best. So, look. Why can't I keep... You know what? This is why I can't write stories. I can, but there's no plot. This is why. This is exactly the same as my writing. It's just any old shit. It opens with a pastiche of a very Vartan tar. It opens with a pastiche of a very famous film opening, which I'm going to play now, and it's my favourite film. And this has been my favourite film when I saw it when my granddad nicked his flatmate's video and all the VHS. Because
Saigon. Shit. I'm still only in Saigon. Every time I think I'm gonna wake up back in the jungle. When I was home after my first tour, it was worse. wake up and there'd be nothing. I hardly said a word to my wife until I said yes to a divorce.
It's so well written by Michael Kerr, I think, from his book Dispatches. He was a journalist out in Vietnam, and he wrote all of Charlie Martin, always forgets Martin in it. Wrote all of his monologues. They're all in Dispatches. If you like Apocalypse Now, read Dispatches. It's fucking brilliant. Now, the novel opens with a pastiche of that. The novel's riddled with quotes. Jean-Francois Lyotard, who wrote The Postmodern Condition and basically said postmodernism is a technological phenomena. And it makes sense if you can plow through it all without killing yourself. And he said that postmodernism is a life in quotes. I've said it to you many times. You know, when you're there with your missus and you're splitting up and you say to her, I didn't really want to hurt you. And then you're like, oh, God, it's a pop song. And then you say something else and you think, oh, God, that's from that movie. Not because you're quoting, but because this is where we are as a culture. You know, Walter Benjamin wrote The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction and suggested these sort of things would start happening. Jean-Francois Lyotard obviously developed that and talked about this life in quotes. And it tends to be at the very sort of, you know, the really important things in life where we end up quoting things, because songs and films are the things that they tend to deal with important love, loss, lack, life, death, birth. And so it kind of makes sense. So there's loads of quotes in the novel. Now, they're not obviously quotes. I don't at the bottom of it put from Apocalypse Now. It's just, they're just dropped in. So it's kind of like heroin shit. All this time I'm still only on heroin. When I was clean, it was worse. You know, it's same as that, but I've put heroin in instead of the jungle. And I said nothing to my girlfriend until I said yes to an holiday in Laos, where I could get my hands on some decent gear. All this sort of stuff. And then it just seamlessly go, hello, Miss Glass. Seamlessly, keep them coming. Seamlessly, it goes into the first person narrator's God narrative, right? Now, later in the book, the narrator starts taking notes, and the book you're reading, my novel, becomes the notes that the bloke's writing. So the thread of the story that you're reading is no longer the narrator's sort of God all-knowing voice, but it's what the protagonist you've been reading about is then writing. And then he bumps into a woman who's reading a book, but the book she's reading is the same book that you're reading, which is the notes that he's taking, right? It all gets a bit contrived and postmodern. But then, while they're talking, a couple of sperms start talking, and they're sperms in the bollocks of the protagonist. Now, the weird thing is the sperms are complaining because sperms only have a life of about 70 days. Sperms only have a life of about 70 days, and they know that the protagonist is cranking them out a little bit rapido style, and they're kind of giving up on life as well because they're in a world of sedatives because the protagonist is a drug user. And so, you know, and so they start having a conversation. Good call, Moody Edge and RP. But they start having a conversation which the protagonist has with someone else in the novel earlier, pretty much about life and about, you know, survival and abilities. And, you know, one of the sperms says that is Anders, what's it called? Acrosome. It's the bit around the sperm's head. He says that he's receding on the acrosome. I think it's the acrosome, abosome or something. He's receding because he's been there so long and he's got a kink in his tail because he's losing mobility. And it's a conversation that you've already read in the novel between a bloke and a mate. But then one of the sperms also does the next bit of the Martin Sheen Apocalypse Now introduction. Yeah. It's interesting. And that's it. I've got no reason to tell you that, but that's it. Bill's just looked it up. Yeah, his acrosome's receding. It's quite a funny joke. Mark, what the fuck are you talking? It's quite complicated, I'll give you that. Willow, I think it will make a bit less sense when you read the book. I mean, that's quite interesting, though. The thrust, sensual. The thrust of the text becomes the notes that the protagonist is writing. And then he meets a woman who's reading a book. And then she starts reading the book to him. And it is a book that he wrote, which he's currently writing. Then it merges seamlessly into a couple of sperms having a conversation about being in the bollocks of the protagonist. And you know that Skagless and Bible Black, that then happens in that. Essentially, JP, yeah. Talks is a bit, they certainly communicate. They communicate. 7 points to Grego. Right. Anyway, there are no cyborgs in my novel. No. Right. Now, listen. The other day we were talking about beatniks. Do you remember? And we were talking about degeneracy. And I've got a problem with all this degeneracy on the right. It sickens me. It's so tame and embarrassing. What? I still don't even get it. No one has defined splinking. No one has defined what degeneracy is. And when I said to you, what's the problem with the beatniks? And it is something interesting. I had a look through On the Road. On the Road is Jack Kerouac's magnus opus, right? That's his big, most famous work. And it's considered the Bible of the beatniks, right? 7 years Jack Kerouac was actually on the road with Dean Moriarty, who's Neil Cassidy. And he's a patriot. Jack Kerouac is a patriot. He loves America. And On the Road, this Bible of the beatniks is a celebration. Of working class America. He goes to all these places and communicates with different characters and celebrates America. He loves it. He loves America. And you talk to any essentially illiterate people on the right, fucking beatniks, drug addicts, homosexuals. What? Like the right isn't full of drug addicts. It's like, what's the problem with the gays again? Oh, they do something you don't. Oh, shocking stuff. You know, it's focus. It's just so ill-considered. You know, Jack Kerouac should be held up as a figure of a conservative America. His parents were conservative Americans, and Kerouac he falls back on their ideas. You know, people who what would you call it? People who criticize Kerouac, you know, middle class, leftist, Marxist fucking university lecturers, they always talk about him resorting to his parents' petty conservatism. Well, fuck you. Just because Kerouac isn't your man, why does it make his parents' conservatism petty? I'd much rather him fall back on it and rely on his parents' conservatism than rely on your fucking liberalism, which is getting us nowhere. Don't forget to respond to the bloke in the first row as banana, like he asked you. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I would suggest you read Kerouac's On the Road before you write off the beatniks. The beatniks were complaining about the descent of America. The beatniks were complaining about the way America was going downhill. Herbert Huncke, who, like I say, wrote his poetry in a toilet in Times Square, he said that's where the word comes from. Kerouac didn't come up with beatnik. Herbert Huncke said, I'm beat down to my socks. You know, we've got nothing. And why have they got nothing? Because America's going downhill. Because they grew up in a better America. They grew up in America where you could be creative. They grew up in America where they felt safe. They grew up in America that had problems but was looking at, you know, it was a fucking America. And it had just come out of the war. And you got to remember, the beatniks were taking drugs, but they weren't smashing the arse out of it like the hippies. You know, they were taking the Benzodrine out of inhalers. Whoa, steady. Whoa. Kerouac spent 7 years traveling around America because he loved it. You don't spend 7 years driving around America because you don't like it. You don't spend 7 years taking notes about America because you hate it. You do it because you want to record it. You want to tell people about this miraculous place and all the beautiful poetic things that go on in the corners and under the bridges and in alleyways. It's just so dumb of people to talk about beatniks as being degenerate. It's just, and until that term's defined, they can inhale my balls. I love the Scrubs so much. Flammer Diddler says, I think the Democrat who bummed several random strangers during Pride and contracted monkeypox is a degenerate. Call me a square. But Flammer, I know you're serious, and it's a comedy moment, but you know, it's like, what is and isn't allowed then, you know, is a degenerate. Maybe someone has to. There you go. You asked, you got. Shush, Packer, be quiet. I noticed that as I said it. Okay, well, I'm not so sure. Is anal sex degenerate? I reckon half the chat have had anal sex at some point. Pags has got a problem with black polo neck jumpers. Understandable. You need to talk to Lumi about that, not Kerouac. Anyway, right, moving on. I just thought it was interesting because it came up the other night, and when I mentioned the beatniks, it was all about these fucking degenerates, and I thought, you know, William Burroughs, you know, everyone thinks about Burroughs was a capitalist. Burroughs' uncle was, or grandfather, I think it might have been grandfather, invented some very famous adding machine. Burroughs had a trust fund. He's your original trust fund junkie. Now, that doesn't mean he wasn't scraping around for money, because there's never enough money, because there's never enough smack. But, you know, where's Burroughs' political writing? Where is that? It's like, you know, I'm struggling to find it. You know. You lot are on absolute fire tonight. It has to be said. Right, couple of entropies have come through. I've got a couple more videos to show you. I've got a couple of things to show you. Happiness, more or less. Woo! It's always good to get an entropy, because we get another look at the lovely thumbnail. Oh, I've got a couple of things to show you. More or less. Happiness, right? It never quite seems the same without Mrs. Me and its Varts. I think we reached I don't know what the word is, a crest, a cusp. Years says, let me get these in order. I'd love to have you on my channel for an interview one day, schedule flexible. I'd love to do a proper fucking hell. 90 to 120 minutes with you about who you are, why you are the writer stream you are today, and expose my audience to you and the scrubs. I would love to, Yiz, but it's going to have to be in December. Now, that might sound but I don't want to commit to anything, because I'm desperate to get this novel out and I really need to do it. So if you're good for December, I'm good too. And then a nice one on the Lady Godiva as well, Yiz. And then Yiz says, also, I wonder what that bloke asking about why you ain't wearing a shirt would say if he also knew you weren't wearing pants. Well, as you know, I'm not. I don't wear pants. I've got the old. I'm a man of the crammer. I've got. It's too fucking hot for pants. Look, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's 30 degrees. You sit around in pants. You know, that's 2 pairs of pants a day. I ain't got time to wash all that. The old crammers, 2 or 3 days, chuck them in the water. Chuck them in the water. Dip them in the river. Flick them in the Mekong. You're right, Snoopy. They fucking hurt as well, didn't they? They absolutely hurt. And you go out to a restaurant, you're like, the only pants I like when I go out, they go down to my knees. They're like proper old granddad's pants that go down to your knees, so that you're not sitting there going, sorry, love, I'm just having my bollocks hurt. Chuck me in a wet spin box. There you go. Wet spin box. Okay. I'd like to help him. No, I'd like to help him. I'd like to help get him known either before the book or close to when it comes out. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll time it nicely for that. Nice one. Right. Thank you, Yiz. And yes, I will. So we're looking at December. I forgot to just have a little glance at the thumbnail. I thought that was very sensual. Birds are great, aren't they? Good gosh. Hello. My stupid face smiling like I've just discovered women. Life, struggle and strife. Now, let's talk about Dragon's Den. Now, as someone who's been a relatively successful entrepreneur all his life, from the days of you can touch the goat skull for 2 pence, right up to what feeds and shelters me today. Dragon's Den is actually worth watching if you want to be an entrepreneur. Enter my pronoun. Entrepreneur. If you want to be an okay, it's because I'm thinking Enter the Dragon. That's all it is, Matt. That's all it is. It's easy to pull hot birds. Just go and tell them you want to have sex with them. It might be Pinder actually. I searched for Pinder, and I got that picture, but I couldn't quite tell. They're definitely Pinder's jugs though, so we'll call it a yes. Now I'm just going to mute for a burp. Got that done. Now listen, Dragon's Den is worth watching. I'm not making jokes. What is going on? I'm not making jokes. I got a VAR, but I didn't see a donation. Maybe that was a legacy VAR. Bontoft, have I said hello to you, son? Hello, Andy Mac. Vesper Check. Crosshatch. There's a few people I've missed on the way. Now listen, I want to show you something disgusting. I might not vulgar disgusting, but just I don't like hippies anyway. I don't like them. They're always after your money and they want to get it without doing any work. Immediately that's no, fuck off. I don't. But they're also trapped in this really weird world where they've just grabbed a bit of this, anything esoteric. Oh, Tibet was nice. My mate went there and bought me this. Oh, something from that, bit of this, and anything that looks good on their Temple of Runes. And they're fucking stupid. And I was watching Dragon's Den today because I love it. I absolutely love it. Hello, Lulu. As much as I don't like to admit that the BBC actually still puts out good content. I mean, I don't even know if it's I get it off YouTube. You can learn a lot about business from Dragon's Den, and I mean that. I mean a lot of good advice on there, seriously. And I'm just saying that because it's a truth. Now, check out this ridiculous pitch. I am going to risk getting yeeted, but it's hello, Casa calling. Good to see you. It does seem to be mainly OG Scrubs in tonight. If I get yeeted, 3.5 minutes, the stream starts again. But just watch this. Not only did she know she was going onto a TV show to talk to 4 or 5 of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, probably worth about 700 million between them, if not more. She's asking them for money. If you don't know how Dragon's Den works, you pitch your idea of a business you've already got going. Oh, by the way, I could do it with 100 grand to blah, 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 blah. And I could do with a bit of your help. And then next year's turnover will be excellent and we'll all be in the money. Check out this. And I despise these people. I don't forget I lived in Totnes for 3 years. Well, I lived in Totnes for about 5 years, but in 2 stints. And it's just hippiesville. And these people drive me nuts. Remember that she's talking to adults. Now, her product, don't ask me what it is because she doesn't tell them. Her product may be for children, but imagine you're selling nappies. Imagine you're selling, that's diapers to my American friends. Imagine you're selling toys, right? And you go to an investor. You don't go in there and go, here he comes. No, you will never take me alive. Can you give me $2 million investment, please, for 40% equity in my company with a buyback clause if you get your money back in 2 years? No, you don't make the mistake of confusing the commodity and the customer with the investor and the approach, because that's dumb as fuck. Oh, but she does. Check this out. I'll play a couple of minutes of it and just be amazed. And if you're feeling a little bit down about life, just be thankful you're not as dumb as this.
Next to face the dragons is Marnetta Viegas from Oxford. She needs a £100,000 investment, But remember, Dragon's Den rules dictate that she must get at least that, or she goes away with nothing.
I'm just pausing it there and putting in a little bit of chat on the off chance it'll straight away. Right, remember, she's talking to not only adults, but people she wants money off of for business.
Hello, my name's Moneta Villegas, and I'm here to pitch 4 Relax Kids. Once upon a time, there was a girl called Moneta Villegas who had a dream to teach children to relax. So she made a wish upon a star and rubbed her magic lamp and set up Relax Kids, where children believe and parents can breathe. Moneta wrote 2 books, 5 CDs, and 3 packs of self-esteem cards.
I just want to stop it there. Moneta wrote 2 books, a couple of CDs, and some self-esteem cards. Right, this isn't a business yet. I mean, she wrote a couple of kids' books and she recorded some CDs and wrote some cards. That is her business, by the way. Look at Andrew. He can't handle any more of it. It's barking mad, isn't it? And also, don't forget, if you get a dragon on board, not only do you get their money, not only do you get their contacts, which is everything in business. You know, my business in the later years has been much easier than the early years because I've had 15 years networking. You know, when people set up in competition with me, I'm like, well, you know, good luck, but I've got 15 years, well, 19 years networking ahead of you. It continues.
In 18 months, she had produced 18,000 CDs and had a turnover of over £74,000.
Look at her cracking up. Look at her cracking up. I mean, 74,000. Why is she talking about herself in the third person as well? In 1 year, she had a turnover. Do you know what she's selling yet? Do you know what? What's the product? What's the company? What's the business? Why are you talking to us like children? Willow. There you go, Bill. Exactly what I thought. Yeah, that's right. The American one is called Shark Tank. So's the Australian one. I think it's an English original. And Matt nails it. It really is. Yeah, good call, Matt. Good call. Anyway, a bit more.
But then one day, she found herself in the dragon's den. Sitting in before her were 5 dragons. They were very scary and were breathing fire, but she knew they had hearts of gold. Now these dragons were sitting on a treasure chest of £100,000. They agreed to give her the £100,000, and they all lived happily and peacefully ever after.
Just fuck off. How about fuck off? What is going on here? I mean, think about her social group. She must have said to someone, "I'm going on Dragon's Den," and they were like, "Yeah, wow, yeah, why?" And she went, "Well, because I've written these 2 kids' books, and I've written these motivational cards, and I've recorded a CD." I think pretty much everyone in this chat has recorded a CD. Surely it's just you just record something and put it on CD. And she said, and then she said, and I'm going to go in there and tell them about the dream I had, and tell them that I know they breathe fire. It continues rather bizarrely.
The end.
Marnetta Viegas is looking for an investment to expand her relaxed kids company.
I mean, she blatantly comes from money. This is, most hippies do, by the way. When I lived on a traveller's site, not Joe Dykey's, not do as you like, his new age travellers, for my sins, add the dreadlocks, nose ring, steady, toothbrush around my neck. I'll stay at yours, darling. But every single one of those hippies that lived on that site, Steve McKee it was, in Totnes. Nice little site, though, to be honest with you. I only stayed there 2 nights because it was too cold and I was too busy penetrating ladies. But every time I'd be in someone else's trailer, like, what's your name? Dog shit. Oh, all right, dog shit. So what do you do? I make these runic wristbands. Oh, wow. How many have you got? Well, there's 7 different designs depending on where your sun is rising. Oh, wow. What do you do with those? Well, I sell them at festivals. You know, they're only £12 each. It's a bit of string, isn't it? Yeah. So how did you end up here then? Well, I was at Oxford. The old alarm starts going off. Woo, woo. You were at Oxford. I was at Oxford because, my father's a lecturer at Oxford. He actually owns Sainsbury's. It was always like that. Every single one of them. And this is the whole scam of the 60s. Turn on, tune in, drop out. Don't bother with a job. Don't bother don't improve yourself. Don't achieve anything in life. Because if you fuck up, you can just go home to mummy and go, give us a couple of mil or get us a job in the family business. Like most of them did. But that, if you haven't read my story on my Substack, Poison Donkey Rides, when I got to meet the Osric Tentacles. Osric Tentacles had a fan base of people with dreadlocks, smelly clothes. Nah, fuck it, I'm not getting a job. Nah, look at my heroes, they're doing it. They all come from money. It was my Quadrophenia moment. It was my Sting as a bellboy moment. I sat down with them outside the Hand in Hand on Wimbledon Common. And mad jumping John, the flautist, he was with his missus and their little boy Poe. Poe, don't play over there. Poe, Penelope, can you go and get Poe, please? I've told you so many times. It's frightfully worrying when he runs off like that. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, hang on. And then Ed Wynn, the guitarist, right? I'm just earwigging. And these are my heroes. I'm 16, so cut me some slack. These are my heroes, Osric Tentacles. Ed Wynn, he's talking to his mate, the guitarist, right? Goes up on stage, plays all their silly music. He was talking to his mate about his contract that he's got for writing music for the holiday program. Now, don't get me wrong. He was a professional musician. And so why wouldn't he have a contract writing music for the holiday program? But they don't tell you that because they sell you an identity. We were talking about this the other night. When you're young, the things you select, you want people to, you have the T-shirt of the band you like or whatever, because you want people to identify you with them. I'm like that. And I remember there thinking, hang on a minute, he makes music for the holiday program. And then I suddenly started thinking of the holiday program when Judith Chalmers, hi, I'm in Tunisia. I'm thinking, fuck me, it is Osric Tentacles. And obviously, next time things like that came on, I'd hear it and think, that is him. And then as the credits went up, music, incidental music, Ed Wynn. Then I find out the same night, because they're all talking, yeah, well, we've just got the gig to do the incidental music for Biker Grove. I was thinking, it wasn't meant to be like this. It really, no, that's Ant and Dec. That's psych. No, this isn't what was meant to happen. You were meant to talk to me about adverdic. You were meant to talk to me about tantric obstacles. You were meant to be talking to me about things that meant things to me that your music told me about. And you're just very rich young men. Edwin's dad is a world famous sculptor. He done the 50p with all the hands on it. I've got no problem with people being successful and financial. I've got no problem with people coming for money. If people's parents put the fucking effort in to send their kids to a good school and give them a better life, fucking great. Well done, parents. Good parenting. But that's not what, that's the product they sold encouraged kids not to do that. Told kids like the 60s, turn on, tune in, drop out, get fucked up, end up in rehab and stack shelves for the rest of your life. It was shocking. Absolutely shocking. So this bird on Dragon's Den, she said to her friend, she said to him, Jemima, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say there was a girl who had a wish. None of her friends said, don't do that. That's ridiculous. Why don't you go in, tell them your operating costs, tell them your monthly burn rate, tell them what your gross profit is, tell them what your revenue is, tell them what your net profit is, tell them what your predicted figures and growth is for next year based on the last few years' growth, tell them what you're going to do with the 100 grand and how they're going to make some money. No one said that because they don't need to make this money because they've got money. People like her have got money. This is just indulgence. This is just pure indulgence. And if you don't believe me, although I know you already do because of what you've already seen, it gets worse.
But her fairy tale pitch has left the dragons confused as to what the business actually is.
I thought you were barking mad when you came on and started reciting like that. And now I'm pretty certain. But before I go on, look, let's get down to brass facts. What did you get it on? What did you sell, darling? We don't know. You haven't told us.
I'm sorry.
Show us.
Okay.
Have you got a tape recorder? Have you got the sound? Can we listen to it?
You can't listen to them, but you can have a look at them.
Ethnic grot bags is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Did you check that out? What have you got? Can we listen to them? No. No, you can't. Look what she's got for them. Books.
This book.
He's desperate to look at it.
I've written the 2 books, and I've produced the 5 CDs.
But what's on them? Are you saying?
Sorry,
Are you
I
saying the
didn't
tape
tell you.
recorders tell a story that's in the book?
Okay, let me say, I have to admit, I missed this out of my pitch, and it is the most
The most important thing you left out.
And I'll tell you what this is, and I don't take this the wrong way, but this is princess syndrome. And this is why a lot of Western women are fucked, because their daddy has told them all their life that they're a princess and that they can do anything they want, they can achieve anything they want, and that they're beautiful on the inside and outside. And the truth is, most of them are ugly and most of them can't achieve anything. I mean, beautiful people make up about 10%. Why? Because that's how else could it work? If everyone was beautiful, you'd find the cream. And then if everyone was like the cream, you'd find the cream of the cream. And, you know, I the amount of girls I've started talking to, and I've just thought, hark at this. Look, they absolutely think they're above me based on nothing but my accent already. And I've got a lot of friends that I made when I started making pop promos and working in that industry in my early 20s, screenwriting. I met a load of these girls, these princess syndrome girls, who are just, you know, I work in wardrobe in pop promos. Oh, well, what videos have you worked on? Well, you know, I'm just setting the business up. Okay, Dad, give you some money, you know, because Dad wants to keep the dream alive as well, because Dad wants to keep his daughter. Dad doesn't want an adult as a child, if you get my meaning. And so many of those girls now, and I'm not even joking, 5 of them have frozen eggs. Why does a 35-year-old woman freeze her eggs? because no one wants babies with them. They've got to 35 and it ain't hard to find a bloke. Blokes don't want much. Blokes don't want much in a relationship. Blokes are easy. But they've all this princess syndrome. They just are so demanding, and they've had so much. They've expected, their expectations have been blown out of all proportion. And I'm waiting for Prince Charming. I'm waiting for Prince Charming. I'm getting older. I'm waiting for Prince Charming. I'm getting fatter. I'm waiting for Prince Charming. I've achieved less. I'm waiting for Prince Charming. I can't get work now because I've got a CV with nothing on it for 10 years. I'm waiting for Prince. He ain't coming. He ain't coming. He's not coming. And they're the ones you see down the boozer, standing around with loads of 23-year-old girls with their fucking mascara running. And you're thinking, yeah, your old man's really done you a fucking... He should have been a little bit more honest with you. It continues.
But it is fairy stories transformed into meditations. I'm sorry, I just forgot it.
Now we're getting there. Well done, Manetta.
Did you get that? That's what her business is. Fairy stories, which we've talked about at length on this channel, the lovely European tradition of fairy stories, the figure of death, of loss, of birth, of death, of murder, of revenge, the classic European themes. Oh, fairy stories as meditation. I'm not sure you're going to meditate too well when he goes into wood and chops her head off. I'm not sure it's going to go too well when the wolf bites the head off of Red Riding Hood. I'm not sure those brothers Grimm are going to keep you relaxed. Her whole idea, I mean, it's so lazy. It's lazy. It's entitled. She's going to read to kids in a soft voice so that they relax.
So imagine you're Jack, you've planted the seed in your garden, you climb the beanstalk and you float in the clouds, relax your hands, relax your legs, relax your arms, and you drift off. And so I used my meditation techniques, my love for children, and also my love for fairy stories, and I put them all together.
The dragons have finally established what it is Marnetta is actually.
And there you go. That absolutely wraps it up. My love for this, my love for children, my love for fairy stories, and my love for meditation. I took things that take absolutely no effort. Like meditation is so easy. It's just do nothing. That's it. I was taught how to do that by a Buddha, not a Buddhist. There's no such thing as a Buddhist. Buddha set out to make Buddhas. A Buddha told me that. You just do nothing. And when your mind wanders, just try and bring it back to nothing. You can't do that, but you aim for it. So do nothing. Then read fairy stories. I mean, anyone in the chat here can write a story for a child. Because children will listen to anything. Because they want attention. You can sit down next to a child and go, look, I'll do it right now. Let's imagine I've got a little kid here. He's had a day at school. He's come home. Right. All right. So the giant came out of his big cave and he went, I'm really hungry. What will I eat today? And he banged his chest and you could hear his chest all over the land. And all the birds and all the animals ran away to their little houses, and the rabbits went underground, and the birds went to the top of the mountains, and because they knew he was coming for them. The kid is absolutely engrossed because kids don't have a very good grasp of reality. So this is just incredible. An adult is telling them this, giving them attention. Kids ask questions when you tell them stories. That is a dream for a storyteller. Because you could just make it up. Thanks for the help. What was he wearing? How did he get there? Well, he had the biggest bike in the world made out of stone and straw. And the kid's like, wow. No effort. No effort to that. No effort to meditation. Oh, and she loves kids. This is so bourgeois. This is so entitled. It's nothing. It's nothing. And I'll show you a little bit more because it's incredible. I mean, we're 3 minutes in and she's only just telling them what the fucking business is.
She's pitching. Rachel Elnor wants to get straight to the point.
Can you just go back to a few basics without all of the kind of fairy tale stuff? You said you made 7.
Can we just have that again from Eleanor? I mean, what an embarrassing thing to have to say to someone. She was kind of polite there. Can we just get it back to basics without all the fairy tale stuff? The connotation there is, can you talk to me like an adult, please? Oh, our dating site's in. Good to see you, people.
Finally established what it is Marnetta is actually pitching. Rachel Elnor wants to get straight to the point.
Can you just go back to a few basics without all of the kind of fairy tale stuff? You said you made 74,000 turnover so far. Who have you sold these to? What have you done to do that? You said you produced all, was it 18,000 CDs?
Generally, so far, it's been word of mouth, and they've got it into lots of health food shops. So initially, I set off going into the new age market, and then I just realised that this is actually more mainstream. It's not just for the new age market. And WH Smith are going to be ordering at the end of the month.
Right. I won't force much more of this on you, but you heard that. WH Smith are going to be ordering at the end of the month. Now, if someone come to me with a product they wanted me to market and they said WH Smith are ordering at the end of the month, my ears would go, boom. I'll be like, okay, right, well, fuck it, let's talk because you're on. Game on. And she's just said that to 5 multi-millionaire investors. They know how important that is. That's fucking high street. That's, that's WH Smith's, right? You heard her say it. And this is more of this childlike fantasy land she lives in. Check out where WH Smiths are making an order at the end of the month. Let's see where that goes. I'll take it back a bit so you can see that you didn't mishear it.
It into lots of health food shops. So initially I set off going into the new age market, and then I just realised that this is actually more mainstream. It's not just for the new age market. And WH Smith are going to be ordering at the end of the month.
How much are they going to order?
I don't know.
But a boat race, though, it's still happy. I don't know. What? Hang on, that doesn't sound like an order, because an order would suggest, I don't know, I'm just gonna pluck a word out of the air. An order. They're gonna be ordering at the end of the month. How many? But that mad childish fucking, she's a child. I don't know. Well, let's find out why you don't know. Look at Eleanor's face. This is what happens when you put these adult babies with actual adults. Hello, Dillich. Hello, Celtic. Dillich says, as the pressure goes up in the den, she's going more boss. Hello, Paddy. Look at her eyes. She's on a different planet. Yeah, she is. She's in the child. She's on Planet Children. Celtic says after she said, I thought it wasn't just for the new age market. No, it's for ordinary people too. Amazing. Anyway, let's see about this W.H. Smith's order.
There are going to be 7, sorry.
You've had a meeting with W.H. Smith?
It's been telephone calls, but they have.
Because there's a long distance from making a telephone call to W.H. Smith buyer and actually them ordering at the end of the month. Can you just enlighten me a bit further on that?
Moneta is foundering.
No more. I mean, that's just, I can't take it. Yeah, it's quite a distance from talking to a buyer on the phone and then making an order. And she goes, yeah. Yeah, but that, darling, that means something. Words have meanings. And when you say them, people understand. It's just shocking. Amazing. I love Dragon's Den, and I watch Shark Tank Australia, and I watch Shark Tank America. And I mean it. If you're interested in becoming an entrepreneur, there's a lot to learn from those shows. There is. That's a tip. Now, here's the next question. While we're talking about money, I know that over 60 scrubs signed up to FREETRADE. And I know that because I use my link and I get a free share. They get a free share. They're like free 4 quid shares. I did get one 12 quid one. And then the stock market crashed. It dipped and it dipped. And I kept saying, I kept saying to you, this will happen. Don't worry. We're not day traders. We're long-term investors. I said at least 5 years, preferably 10. I want to know if you're happy to say who bottled it and sold their shares when it started going down, because it's fucking flying back up at the moment. And I know that I think it was Grego that said he just thought, I can't do this, and sold it. And then the next week they've all gone up, because now it's all going up. And I told you this, I spent every spare penny I had. I got proper frugal. I spent every bean I could on all those plummeted stocks during that dip. And now it's all coming back up. There you go. Hello, Philip. Yeah. Exactly that. I mean, it's been difficult. It is about temperament, because if you've got, like, I've got pretty much all my savings in stocks. I haven't got a lot of savings, but they're all in stocks. But to see them go down and get devalued is hard work. And I would suggest don't look at it, because it's difficult. Yeah, it is now, isn't it, Skin? It's looking good now. Even Bitcoin's climbing again. But I told you all this would happen. And when it was right down, I said, "Nat, this is where millions get made." I bought a load of what's the company called? Oh, I can't remember. I bought a load of them, and they plummeted, and they're climbing back up incredibly rapidly, and everyone's saying they're going to be huge. You know, there's that fella on I can't remember his name, Stealth Wealth Investing. He put $4,000 in Apple in 2020. It's worth over 1.5 million at the moment. Philip, that's what I told them all, mate. That's what I said. Index funds, between 5 and 10 index funds, and you'll be fine in different areas. Phantom's going to take about 5 years. Phantom's on its arse at the moment. Phantom, I think you're looking at about 5 years, but I've still got faith in Phantom. But no, that wasn't one I'm talking about. I'll tell you the name of it. I'll have a look now. But yes, Skin. It's a sea of green now, and it's been a sea of red for a long time. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy some more of these when I get paid. Palantir. You'll go online and you'll hear a lot of people talking about Palantir, and I'll tell you now, if you can buy Palantir now, in 10 years it's going to be worth 100 times. I honestly think that. No, they all dropped out. All of them just went, this is nothing. This isn't anything. Right, got something else for you. Excuse me, Simon Webb. It's 20 to 2 now. I can't be up all night. I've got to go to the provinces at the weekend, so I've got to get my sleeping pattern back in order. But Brittany Griner, American women's national basketball player. No one watches women's basketball. It's nothing, right? It just is. She went off to Russia. You know, the country that's having a proxy war with the United States. You know that country in Minecraft, Susan. Now, she went off to play basketball in Russia, right? And because she's a famous, the women's basketball only earn money is paid for by men's basketball, right? Trust me on that. Go and look into it. It's obvious. She thought, I know, I'll take half ounce of weed with me into Russia, where weed is illegal, right? I'll be all right because I'm an entitled millennial protected group, millennial sports person, America hating, by the way, does the kneel, you know, fucks ass towards the flag and all that. Oh, got caught. Now, I'm sorry. I do apologize, but you being a millennial, you being a woman's basketball player, you being a woman, you being a person of color, you being entitled means fuck all in Russia. In fact, it all works against you because they hate that shit, which is why their country isn't falling apart. And they've locked her up for 9 years. Now, you can argue that that's a bit heavy. It's their fucking country. You know the laws. You could have looked online. You could have looked online and said, what happens if I take a prohibited, controlled substance to Russia, as if Russia needs any more excuse to lock someone up who's a celebrity, sort of, from America. There's a proxy war going on, you know. And she, like, Twitter is full of people going, this is outrageous, don't they? I literally saw a tweet. I tried to grab it, but I didn't have time in the end. I literally saw a tweet saying, don't they know who she is? Can you imagine Putin? Putin, sir, it turns out that the Brittany Griner, she bounced ball for a job. No, she bounced ball for a job and is black. Take her out of prison. Bring her here for lunch and I will send her home. No. No. Can you imagine? She's now literally in a gulag. Can you imagine what a Russian prison, a Russian women's prison is like? I mean, I've been out down to Lugansk on the Ukraine-Russian border. And the women that weren't working girls, and they were just like angels. 6 foot, blonde hair, cheekbones. Hang on a minute. Did my imagination design you? But the hardcore birds, like the babushkas, the old grannies, because Kate Bush done her song, babushka, babushka, yeah. Everyone thinks a babushka is a hot Russian bird. No, it's a grandmother. They fight over plastic bottles, and they are wrapped up in about 20 coats with bits of string. Seriously, they're old women, and they put a coat on, bit of string, put a coat on. They're like these big bowling balls. And I went to a festival in Lugansk, and they're not allowed to collect the plastic bottles until all of the audience is out. And then it's just like a fucking scrum. And they are in there, they are yanking each other's hair, they're butting each other. It's like Robot Wars, but instead of robots, they're old grannies in 30 coats. Mayhem. And everyone knows as well, like the bird I was with, what's her name? It's such a predictable name. It's not Svetlana. Hang on. Oh, beautiful as well. Anastasia, of course, the lovely Anastasia. I wonder if I can get a picture of her. I'm just showing off. This was my Ukrainian bird. It's tempting though. She said to me when the gig ended, and it was like -20. She said to me, she said, when show finished, you got to stay, because when everyone leave and square is empty, babushka come in for fight. And I was like, what, like boxing? And she said, no, they fight for plastic, for recycle. And of course, when the band finished, okay, thank you, good night, spasibo. You know, lights go down, everyone sort of goes. But then all the audience who are watching the gig, they all sort of turn around and wait. And then when everyone's out of the square, the police go, fucking old grannies. It's just a proper fight. In the hotel we stayed in, every floor had a woman who like was the floor sort of caretaker. And if you needed anything, which you did every day because nothing worked, it was fucking gross. It was gross. You'd go up there, she'd be there, and I don't like to, I don't like to maintain cultural stereotypes, but this is true. Bottle of vodka in hand, roll up, stuck to the top lip, telly on, but, couldn't see it because it was too many colours, just like vertical holds a little bit. And you'd go, excuse me. And you'll go, the shower doesn't work. Shower, little kid runs past, like hits it round the head so hard it flies across the room, the kid. I don't like nostalgia to the kid who's just got claret now coming down his face. And then you're like, yeah, can you come here? I'll show you. And you're like, actually, you know what? I don't want you in my room, just me and you, because I'm now scared of rape. I'm literally worried that you'll take me. Now, what I'm saying is women in Russian prisons are probably not like women in English prisons. I reckon it's a fucking... I don't think an American person of colour who came into their country and broke their laws is going to get on very well in there. I do not think. I'll tell you what, Pizzle, I did have a very guilty wank over one of them. Yeah, I did, yeah. She was this bottle blonde. She had a face painted on like... I really did, yeah. There was something kind of sexy about it. RP reckons Putin's got a regiment of babushkas on the go. Yeah, so I've got a little bit from our friend the United Spot to have a look at. Check. Hang on, sorry, people, we're having a few technical difficulties. But yeah, everyone's saying, how dare they keep her? How dare they? She's broken the law. She went over there and blatantly broke the law. I'm sorry, but that's how it works.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I just want to say thanks for all the support while I sit here in this Russian prison. Being in a Russian prison ain't easy. It's cold. Everybody call me Michelle Obama. But Russian prison has made me realize how much I miss home. I mean, yeah, they put me in a women's prison and all, but I miss America, the home of the free, the land that I love. I miss it so much. I miss standing for the national anthem, saying the Pledge of Allegiance, eating an apple with my friend Adam, yelling out, "Let's go Brandon" at a baseball game, going to a Trump rally, and reading the Constitution. But you know what I miss the most? I miss mean tweets. Britney, I'm pregnant. Uh-oh. You said it was a cucumber. Hey, remember the time that you were protesting against the United States and didn't want the national anthem played at any of your games, and now you're in a Russian prison and you want the United States to save you? Yeah. That was awesome!
And if you feel a certain amount of schadenfreude coming from me, oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you hated the United States. I thought you made demands. I thought you said it was an horrible, shitty place and you didn't want anything to do with it. It had done nothing for you, apart from the multi-million-dollar contract you're on, paid for by the men's game. All of a sudden, that would appear to have, it's so good. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. That's what I say, fuck you. And, have you changed your mind now? You want them to actually get involved at a governmental level to help you. Why would they do that? I mean, why don't you go and rely on your crappy mates who supported you when you were saying all that shit? No, they're not much help now, no. That's weird. That's a shame. What about all your Twitter friends? Maybe they could, I don't know, at Putin, give that a go. Sorry about the weed and that, maybe. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird when reality comes and punches you straight in the face. Ungrateful bastard. Yeah, couldn't be happier. And I mean that. It's probably the nastiest thing I've ever said on this stream in a way, but it doesn't work like that. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. Couple of donatiatis just coming in. Oh, there's my boy Bullet. Where's that one? Why are they coming in so late? There you go, boss. Missed the first 80 minutes. There's only going to be about another 15, but it will still be on the stream, I'm sure. On the internet, I mean. Nice one, little Bullet. Good to see you as well. There you go. Nice one on the air and the Lady Godiva as well, Bullet. Yes, Raymond. Weird, isn't it? Weird. And, the annoying thing is they probably will do something. That's the annoying thing. But hello, Nate Spurs. But I don't think Putin will budge. Why should he? Oh, okay. So can we have some Russian nationals out of your prisons who broke the law? No? Oh, okay. And we didn't ask you, did we? We didn't even ask you, did we? Because we understood that they broke laws in your country. Yeah, well, that's what's happened here. You never know. She might be able to teach the old female murder mafia how to play basketball with someone's head wrapped in leather. Right. Okay. Let's do this. Well, I might have something amazing to show you, actually, people. Let me see if I can work this out. Hang on. Oh, I've got a couple of things to show you. Right, here we go. Mutage. I've got a couple more little clips for you. Oh, our dating friends are in again. We're all right around here. Nice one, Duck Boy. Appreciate the Lady Godiva on that. Nice to see you. Evening to you. Right, here we go. Actually, I'll leave it for another one. I'm running out of time all over the place. We've got the Phantom Raspberry Brewer in the brewer, no less. Hello, Arklow. Good to see you, son. You missed the bit about trading an arms dealer for Zer. Oh, I don't know about that. You'll have to fill me in. What? That's actually happened, has it? Really? No. You know what? I don't know if you're joking. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Thank you, Duck Boy, for that. Machacano Potato Chuchi. Right, what have I got for you now? Oh, don't tell me I closed them all. VAR! There you go. You were the best VARter ever. They were very posh. Nice one, Mrs. Me in it. What? Oh, I watched that video of those people dancing. They like crackheads to me, to be honest with you. Here we go. Let's listen to a bit of Ted Cruz. Not everyone's favourite man. I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with a lot of it. Listen to this. This was him at Turning Point, which isn't great, but he says some very funny things. Check it.
This is not normal. We have a president who shakes hands with the empty air. We have a president who talks to the Easter Bunny. The Democratic Party has lost its mind.
Yes, say it.
It actually is incredible how the Biden White House has managed to get everything wrong. We've got prices skyrocketing, inflation is out of control, food is skyrocketing, electricity is skyrocketing, healthcare is skyrocketing. It's gotten so bad. AOC can't afford fake handcuffs.
Good call, good call, good call. Can you? Good call, Mr. Cruz. Did you see it when she pretended to put her hands behind her? Well, she did put her hands behind her back so that the photo op looked like they cuffed her. They didn't cuff her. See you later, years. Take care. Take care. Right, we've got some Doocy mic drops here as well. Very good. Yeah, is 3 minutes of leisure. I hope you enjoy it. That's not French for your eyes. It's English for plaisir.
Saudi Crown Prince basically just said that Saudi Arabia is about tapped out, and that if President Biden or anybody else wants Saudi Arabia to expand its oil production capacity much more, it's not going to happen.
Just understand the implications of that. I mean, Venezuela, which has got more oil than Saudi, they can't even get at their oil. This is Saudi Arabia is pretty much OPEC at this stage. By America, which was energy independent, energy producing surplus, selling it to Western Europe of all places, which are now have now got their heads up Putin's bum for energy. He begged them, please, we need more oil because I shut down pipelines and I fucked up Western Europe and made America very weak were there to be any war, and Western Europe. And Saudi Arabia have said, no. The Democrats, no. How about no?
So 13 million barrels is going to be the max, he says. They're already at about 12 million barrels as the max capacity. So this sounds a lot different than what the president said about his meeting with the Saudis. He made it sound like they were going to help a lot.
We had a good discussion on ensuring global energy security and adequate oil supplies to support global economic growth.
You fucking had it. You were producing it yourself, you fucking slump of slop.
And that will begin shortly. I'm doing all I can to increase the supply for the United States of America.
Except for producing it yourself, because that, might actually do something good for America, which doesn't help with your plans of fucking destroying the place.
Which I expect to happen. The Saudis share that urgency, and based on our discussions today, I expect we'll see further steps in the coming weeks.
So this is...
You absolute fucking lying bastard. America used to have Saudis over a barrel, but the Saudis, who luckily, they're not too bright, steady in Minecraft, They invested all their oil money. They didn't want all their eggs in one basket. They weren't going to do a Venezuela, and they're making billions off of all their other investments. Oil is just one of their huge portfolio now. It ain't like it used to be, Biden, when you were 7. Why don't you start producing oil that you've got loads of and gas? Oh, no, right. Because that don't help your agenda, does it? Your fucking pro-China agenda, you lunatic.
This is potentially a new headache for a president who spent yesterday catching heat for fist bumping the same leaders he called pariahs while he was a candidate.
But after promising during the 2020 presidential campaign to make Saudi Arabia a pariah for the murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, the president traded tough talk for fist bumps, urging the oil-rich nation to boost production amid rising pressure to combat sky.
Hang on a minute. Let me just take that back. 1 second. Hang on.
Rich nation to.
When I look at that picture there, right, this might not go down too well. I'd rather have the geezer on the right running my country, because that fucking piece of useless shit on the left knows nothing. The bloke on the right and his government and his people are strong. They have a culture. They have a religion. Whereas that little bit of useless meat hanging on his own hook is nothing. Nothing.
Boost production amid rising pressure to combat sky-high inflation and soaring gas prices.
And that was offensive enough to the publisher of the Washington Post, who employed the late journalist Jamal Khashoggi, allegedly murdered on MBS's orders, that the publisher, Fred Ryan, says the fist bump between President Biden and Mohammed bin Salman was worse than a handshake. It was shameful. It projected a level of intimacy and comfort that delivers to MBS the unwarranted redemption that he is seeking.
You're coming under a lot of fire for your fist bump with the Crown Prince. I just want to give you a chance to respond to that. But also, how can you be sure that another incident, another murder like Jamal Khashoggi's won't happen again?
Well, God love you. What a silly question. How could I possibly be sure of any of that? I just made it clear. If anything occurs like that again, they'll get that response and much more.
What power? What power has Biden's part of the Democrats, the Communist Party of the United States, what power have they got over Saudi Arabia, really? The people they need for oil? None. He will literally bend over and let them all fuck him if they asked him to, because he has to do what they say. He has to do what they say, because he's begging them to produce more oil, and they said no.
It's only been about 2 weeks since we were in the Bavarian Alps with President Biden, and he was told on a hot mic by the French President Macron that the Saudis could not really increase oil production capacity much more. We saw it. It was right there on tape. So President Biden may have been hoping for a different answer, but he didn't get one.
Yeah, of course he wanted a different. I mean, what do you go into? What do you go into those kind of talks? What did Biden go in there with? Like what? Just goodwill? Oh, come on. We're having a bit of an hard time. We've got the midterms coming up. It's going to be a red wave. We're going to be in power in name only. Do us some oil, please, Mohammed, whatever your name is. Like nothing. Leverage is none. So shit. I mean, no one's convinced by this. No one's convinced by it because there's nothing to be convinced about. There's not even a lie here. There's not even a deception. It's fucked. The way out, Billy says he went in with shit in his pants. Yeah, nice one, Rags. A like will be handy, people. This is what Biden could do. get the American energy production back on track, like when Trump was in power and they were selling the stuff. They had so much they were exporting it. Just do that. Why won't you do that? Why won't you do that, Joe? It's literally because that was Trump's idea. And it would benefit America. It would strengthen America against Russia. It would strengthen Western Europe against Russia. It would strengthen America against China. And they don't want any of that. They want to dismantle America. That's the plan. They ate it. Now, Joe doesn't actually hate it. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He's got his nice houses. He's got his nice houses all around the world. If it, you know, when America turns to shit, he can just fly off somewhere. He'll be fine. He's got billions. But, you know, the people who are the communists who actually make up the Democrat Party, they want America gone. They want it gone. They want China to be the dominant global power. That's why we've got this. That's what I mean by no deception. They don't need it. It's just jokes at this stage. And speaking of jokes at this stage, we'll liven it up with a minute and a half of Aussie Man because it's been a while. Check it. Sorry, Vart. This is Romania's Got Talent. It's fucking great. Check it.
Welcome to Romania's Got Talent. There's not a lot happening. Oh, there's some bloody legs and a hair flick. She's got it. She's got talent. Yes, I can tell. You can spot it early. It's not hard. She's got...
Bless you, Europe. Just bless you so much. You've done so much for me.
Arms, hands, there's a high kick, and the fucking splits. Fuck yes, Romania. These blokes can't control themselves. There's her vagina, more arms. What's she rolling in? Is it flour? Icing sugar? Probably cocaine. He knows it is. The police could have the building surrounded. No one's going to give a toss. Talent should win. Onto her bloody belly. Look at that. Oh, fuck me sideways. Kapow! This has put me in a good mood. She should do this for a living anywhere. Talentless people would whinge, but fuck him. He doesn't know whether to thank God or hate God. He just wants to be 23 again. Now what's she going to do? Couple more spins. There's her vagina again. She's got her determined face. And this judge is happy. Before this, Sheila, there was a fucking parade of losers. They couldn't do that. They just played the flute, juggled, fucking upside down splits. She is crawling deep in the cocaine now, building up to a big finish, throwing it. Don't stand up, mates. She should win it all. Quarterfinal, semi-final, grand final. The stage smells like ass. It's her territory, all hers. Fucking upside down handstand splits. Done.
Now, you might have thought that was somewhat indulgent of me, and I'd be lying if it wasn't. But there is a point here. You ain't getting that on Britain's Got Talent. Not a chance. You ain't getting that on America's Got Talent. Not a chance. What a white woman. What a blonde white woman looking hot. No, not allowed anymore. Not allowed at the boxing. Not allowed at the Grand Prix. Not allowed at the... Just not allowed. Just not allowed. What an absolute mess. I want to especially thank my man Rags for providing clips for today's. This was a last minute stream. I'd done some training, which is why I'm absolutely buff. And I've done my shouldering. And it's a bit annoying when you do your shouldering because I can't train for a few days and it gets quite addictive. It's quite boring doing it, I must admit. Lifting weights isn't fun, but afterwards you feel fucking wicked. I want to thank the boy Cray and my man Rags for looking after the place. I want to thank everyone who donated. I think I've missed a donation. Billy dropped one in. Nice one, Bill. Biden and co. look like they're about to do the most egregious Cold War style prisoner swap ever seen for the unpatriotic basketball player. The notorious arms smuggler dealer is just the start. So that's a true story, is it? Is that what Raymond was talking about? Someone else mentioned that. That's actually happening, is it? They're going to swap an arms dealer for an American hating. Wow. Just wow. Wow. Nice one, Bill. Thanks for the donation as well. Climate abortion is in love. I think a lot of people felt a certain sensuality while she was doing a erotic performance. Yes. What else did I want to say? I'm gonna. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed to my Substack, please do. Link in the description. There's 20 short stories on there, including a teaser from my novel that's coming out before Christmas. That one is called Skagless and Bible Black. Go over there, give a couple of them a read, leave a comment. It really helps this channel because it helps me and it helps me feel good. And if I feel good, I do more streams and I'm better at them. But when I started this stream, I said to you about the beatniks and this degeneracy. They were degenerates. And I reminded you that On the Road by Jack Kerouac is the beatniks' Bible. And having had a good look at it again recently, Jack Kerouac was a patriot who loved America. Now, the reason I want to stress this point, I've circled back really, is because we've got to be careful as critical thinkers when we say things like the beatniks were degenerates, the beatniks were communists. Who told you that? Your school? The media? Have you read the books? Have you read any Herbert Hunk? Have you read any Burroughs? Have you read any Kerouac? Or you trust in your education and the media? It's really important that we understand these things have been going on for years. They've been reselling us things for years. Why do you think they put us off the beatniks? Why do you think they made them appear to be nasty? Whereas the hippies have always been praised. The hippies like Woodstock, the media love it. And if you ask me what's degenerate, the beatniks, Jack Kerouac spending 7 years driving around America, looking for people, looking for America, or a lot of people in a field sticking their fists up each other's arse. I think I know where I'm going to put my money. Look after yourselves, people. I will see you tomorrow with another fantastic stream. This is Our Soul. It's called She's Alive. Ta-ta. Read my show.
I get up and I rush, cause I got to get to the bookies on time. I've got it all on the 325. It's alright, she's alive. I get in and have a burn, cause I got to get to Nirvana on time. I've got a life, but it's in disguise. It's alright, she's alive. And good things come to those who steal.
Right, no. Celtic. What? Give me an example. What do you mean by degenerate? Serious question. What does degenerate mean? You've just used the word. So describe degeneracy to me. So I'm seriously interested because, I've had it. I get it all the time. I've had it from the dissident right for years now. Good to see you, Pizzle. Sorry I didn't acknowledge your presence, but I did see you in here. I mean, you really kill. Yeah, okay. What, you can't define the words you used? All right, that's interesting. I mean, the thing is, the beatniks didn't call themselves beatniks. This has been it under what? Jack Kerouac driving around working class America undermines your ways, does it? He came from Lowell, where the fighter was based, and he loved it. And his parents were conservatives. Well, Celtic, you say that Kerouac was lovely. Kerouac's book On the Road is considered the Bible of the beatniks. And it's a celebration of America. This is what drives me insane. Anyway, another time, fair point. But, you know, if you're going to use words, I think you should at least have an understanding of what they mean. That would seem to appear fair.
I get up and I rush, cause I got to get to the bookies on time. I've got it all on the 320. It's alright, she's alive. I get in and have a burn, cause I got to get to Nirvana on time. I've got a life, but it's in disguise. It's alright, she's alive. And good things come to those who steal. Oh, my father, who art in hell. Can you see the signs that I'm crying all the time? Like the puddles in my hands,
Nice one, RP.
She's alive. The Yost comes in at 10 to 1. I blink and nod in the Ascot sun. So I bunker ride to a seaside town where the colours are great, but I only see the brown. And good things come to.
Where did Burroughs shag little boys? Where? I've read everything he wrote. Haven't read any of that. Don't know anything about that. Where'd you pick that up? I'm not telling anyone off either who said that. I like Celtic a lot.
Those who steal, oh my father, who art in hell. Can you see the signs that I'm crying all the time? Like the puddles in me hands, on me arms that are empty all the time. She's alive.
So you're confusing characters in a book with the writer. It's not a autobiography, The Naked Lunch.
She's alive. She's alive. She's alive.
You came in my dream, kissed me, loved me. Tears of a baby roll down your cheek. Your eyes are wide, so look around. You've loved to give, so get it out. Get it out anytime. Love sits beside me. I feel complete. You came in my dream, kissed me, loved me. Your eyes are wide, so look around.
you'd love to give. So get it out. Get it out. Anytime. Good luck to me, good luck to me. Here's my eyes, it's my fatigue. It's going live, submarine. Get me a drink. Get me some green. I wanna enjoy the sun no matter money. It's going live. Submarine. How we getting back? I don't know where we've been. If you got the cat pharaoh, I'll break into the speed. Good luck to luck, and good luck to them. I couldn't give up monkeys, fuck if I never saw them again. They're going live, submarine. It's going submarine.
And there you go. You know what? It's the things you think you don't need to think about that you've made the greatest assumptions about, because you don't learn these things from nowhere. You don't pick up these ideas from nowhere. Someone tells you them. And it's usually your school, your university, or the media, unless you've looked into it yourself. And that's really important point. You know, On the Road is a celebration of America. Kerouac was a patriot. I dare you to prove me wrong. Look after yourselves, people. Always a pleasure. Hoita!